All right, gentlemen and lady.
I've really missed that.
No,
My
you guys
school
did a
is
good
back,
job.
guys.
You
Yeah.
guys did a good job.
We kept
It wasn't the same.
we kept the bit going.
You
honestly.
did, yeah. You did. Oh, man. Yeah, it feels good to be back.
I'm so glad you're here, man. And we definitely missed you a lot these last 2 episodes. So I know you would have
thank
loved
you.
to have been here for Spider-Man. So
Yes, I was very sad to miss that, but thankfully I did get to see Crazy Uncle Joe and Flannel Fleece a little before the episode, so that was really nice. But what have you guys been up to the last couple weeks?
I've been binging a lot of content, which is probably some good, some bad. But yeah, it's been, I told you guys watch Superman. I've been rewatching Severance. I've gotten super into K-pop Demon Hunters, which if you guys haven't seen,
I've not seen it. I've heard of it. Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I need to. So now, like I waited to like text you about it because I was like, this would make for a good point here. So where did it ultimately, rank for you as far as the Superman movie goes? I read your thoughts a little bit, but what do you got for us?
Overall, I think I like it better than the Snyder ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just more what I'm looking for in a superhero movie in general. Yeah, I have more specific thoughts, but we'll get to that when we get to an actual Superman episode sometime.
One day.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Nick, anything new with you?
I have DJ'd the past 2 weeks. So this past weekend, I kind of slowed down a little bit. That was nice. So after working for like 3 straight weeks, it was nice to have a slow, just kind of hang out at the house weekend. Yeah, that's been nice. I've enjoyed doing that, and I only have 3 weddings left. So
Wow.
Until you're retired?
yeah, officially unofficial. I mean, yeah, I'm going to do less next year.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the plan. Funny enough,
Yeah.
I am DJing Sam's wedding. Speaking of, thanks.
Yay.
And I guess that's a good way for us to. Thanks, Michael. I needed a soundboard. I missed that too. But no, speaking of that, Sam is our guest here today to talk to us about Jurassic Park. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in to the theme music and introduce this episode. Hello and welcome to Fandom of Fandoms. If you are joining us for the first time, we take a different fandom every single episode and get to... He took away my music. I lost the bit already. No, we talk about a different fandom every single episode, diving into worlds that fans just really go crazy for, and we've done some great stuff so far. I'm just so excited for all of the work that we put in so far and all the episodes that we got left to go. So today, let's go ahead and dive into Jurassic Park. And this is our guest. We got Sam Fox in the house as our
Welcome, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
resident
Hi.
Jurassic Park expert.
Yeah. So Sam's been a good friend of ours also since college. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, she and I have been very close since college, I know. Probably closer since college than in college, I would feel like.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, but yeah, super happy. She's the one person who, whenever anything Jurassic comes up, I text immediately. Whether it's the games, Chaos Theory, which I know that like you're one of the only other people I know who've watched Chaos Theory, and yeah, all the movies we went and saw the new one together, and yeah, so Sam is
I do
our.
not know what Chaos Theory is. So I'm
Ooh,
excited to
you
learn.
missing
Yeah, me
out.
too.
You take Bluey and you put it together with Jurassic Park.
Whoa.
Okay.
Not quite.
not
No,
Yeah,
it is a made for kids show on Netflix that is
Okay.
Jurassic Park themed. But
It's 2 parts. It starts out as Camp Cretaceous when the kids are younger.
That's what I've heard
Yeah,
of. Okay.
and then later on they release a part 2,
Oh,
which is Chaos
okay.
Theory.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah,
Very
no,
nice.
I knew of Camp however you say it.
Cretaceous.
Cretaceous. See? Yeah. Anyways, I watched a couple episodes of it, but yeah, I did not know of it as Chaos Theory. So
Yeah.
That's the part 2. I think it's like
that's just what I
Camp
colloquially call it.
Cretaceous
Yeah.
: Chaos Theory. So
Well,
Yeah.
this is the point when we would normally talk about the origins, which we were talking about before the show started to make sure that we got a little bit, at least the background knowledge. So I'm gonna pass it over to Sam because she's the expert anyways. Could you tell us a little bit about the origins of Jurassic Park?
yeah, so Jurassic Park actually started out as a novel. Michael actually said he had no idea
I
there
had
was a
no
book.
clue. Yeah. I'm
So-
already gaining knowledge here.
But it was written by Michael Crichton. So he's a big sci-fi author. He has done like the Andromeda Strain is another one that has a movie counterpart.
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld. Timeline, a lot of other like big sci-fi type things from the, I think like the 80s,
Yeah.
70s, 80s, 90s, I believe. So Jurassic Park he was actually still working on the novel, I believe, and he was working with Steven Spielberg on a movie that turned into a TV series that many of you might know called ER.
Oh,
No way.
So,
That's
yeah.
crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so Steven Spielberg like was creating ER? Is that
So they were working together. So Michael Crichton, I believe, has like a doctorate, and he knows a lot about. Is he still alive?
I
Actually,
have no idea. No,
So-
don't know.
good question?
I'm talking
Producer
about
Michael?
him in present tense, but he had a lot of medical knowledge, so they were using him to help create ER. And is he still alive?
He deceased in 2008.
Ugh,
deceased.
I had a feeling he
He
was
was
gone, but I
deceased.
couldn't remember.
What was it, 2008?
2008. Yeah.
But yeah, he was I think a co-producer or a co-creator for ER, which was one of the longest running
Yeah.
medical dramas in television history.
Yeah.
It's great, by the way, if you haven't watched it. If you want to do an ER episode, let me know.
We will, gladly have you back
Wow,
on.
sweet, yeah.
But Michael Crichton and Steven Spielberg were working together on that, so he knew that he knew about the novel early, and Steven Spielberg kind of wanted to jump on. Hey, I want the rights to this movie. I want to do the screenplay. I want to do it. But he really wanted to do Schindler's List first, and Universal kind of used that to pull their weight and said, nah, you do Jurassic Park first, then we'll do Schindler's List. So they actually were kind of intersecting, and he had to pass off some of the like editing type things and stuff like that. So I think the novel might have been released in 1989. I could be wrong on the year, but it is set in the mid 80s. So that's kind of where it started. There were actually a lot of directors and a lot of production companies that were kind of bidding on the rights for the screenplay, but Universal was like, nah, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it with Spielberg.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
definitely
yeah.
a good choice.
Yeah.
Best choice
Turned out
possible.
well for them.
Yeah. So, and then the first movie was released in 1993. So that's kind of where everything began. A lot of people aren't super familiar with the book, but I absolutely love the book. I listen to the audiobook all the time, actually.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyone fun narrate it?
No,
Okay.
it's just some random
That's
guy.
okay. Nothing wrong
I
with that.
do wish that more actors would do audiobook recordings because they're better about the voice inflection.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's not more of a thing. You
Well,
know,
I mean, how many
like-
actors are you going to get to pay to sit down for 16 hours and read something?
Well, listen, Morgan Freeman, if he was reading some books, Peter Dinklage is another one that
Yeah.
I think would be really good at it. But anyway, that was off topic.
Yeah.
Well, next we usually cover what the rest of us know about it. So, Nick, what do you tell us about your level of knowledge about Jurassic Park?
I don't remember when I first saw like the original trilogy. I know that I really I would guess probably post high school. Like I didn't watch it as a kid because I was born in 1991, so I would have been like really young when the first movie was brought into existence, and so it was, you know, it wasn't until later on that I was old enough and actually was able to appreciate. No, I mean all of us at the table were similar age, so I'm sure that might be a similar story, but the biggest story that I guess I could tell as far as like Jurassic Park relates to me and like the personal relationship that I have with it is something you both were involved with.
Yeah.
And that is for my bachelor party, the night before the wedding, right? Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Night before the wedding, we went and we watched the midnight showing of the first Jurassic World movie. So that was fun. And that'll always have like, I don't know, just a special moment in my life. And it made me even appreciate the movies even more. Like, I think at that point, I don't even know if I had seen
2 or 3?
2 or 3. I don't think I had, honestly. I had seen the first one for sure, but I don't know if I had seen 2 and 3 at that point. And so that kind of led later on that I went and I watched 2 and 3, and it is one of my favorite, probably, I don't know. I don't know where I'd rank it in terms of like top movies, but it is definitely a favorite property of mine overall. And I feel bad saying this. I still did not go see Jurassic World Rebirth.
You
I
said
was
on the
going
last
to. I know.
episode you're going to.
I was going to. It still hasn't come out on streaming yet, so I'm like, all right,
Really?
I'm too
Oh,
cheap.
that's
I gotta-
surprising.
It's supposed to. I think they said late September, early
Okay.
October, so it should be any time.
We'll
now.
allow it.
Yeah.
All
Sorry.
right. No, good. Michael, tell us about your level of knowledge about Jurassic Park then.
Yeah, my level is extremely low. I think I've seen the first movie. I'm pretty sure I have. If I have, it was definitely years and years ago. And then I saw when we went to, was your favorite bachelor party.
Yeah.
And saw that was that a remake or a sequel? I think it was a sequel, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. They have
I
not
saw-
remade any of them.
Okay.
yet.
Okay. Yeah.
It was like the start of a new trilogy.
Mhm.
Okay. I got you. Yeah.
The equivalent of episode 1, but not a prequel.
Okay. I had to think about that for a second.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
fine. Move past it.
But anyway, that's my knowledge. So
Yeah.
the movie we saw, and then I think I've seen the original. So even Sam, you mentioned it a second ago, the book. Like, I had no idea it was based on a book, so I'm already like learning so much. But anyway, Ben, what about you? What's your background?
I grew up as a dinosaur kid. No big surprises there.
This
So
is one of our main bonding moments. Is
Yeah,
anything
I
and
was-
everything Jurassic Park.
yeah, I was obsessed with dinosaurs when I was young. There's so many drawings I have of dinosaurs. Like other people draw rainbows and unicorns, and I was drawing dinosaurs. So that's what I
Nice.
had.
Very dark.
Yeah. No, and then I remember being a kid and seeing that they were making a dinosaur movie with like real dinosaurs, not like cartoons like Land Before Time or anything like that, but like real dinosaurs. And I was like, I need to go see that. And again, I was 4 or 5 when it came out, and my parents were like, let's go see. We need to go see this first, and probably a good call. I did probably watch it way too young. I was probably like 6 or 7 when I watched it, but it didn't bother me.
So were you
'cause-
scared at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Gotcha.
Again, I think that's the thing is like, yeah, people assume that like, again, like when you're a small child, if like you're watching it, you're going to get like so scared of the gore. But I was just so excited about the dinosaurs.
It's honestly not gory though. Like
Yeah.
you don't see a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, stuff. But yeah, like again, I was just so excited about the dinosaurs that nothing else mattered. Like I didn't care about what else was happening. Like, yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I've just been attached to the franchise ever since. I read the book in high school. I haven't read it since. I probably should again. It's been a while, but yeah, I need to. But yeah, seen all the other movies, played the first 2 Jurassic World games for sure. Probably other random little games here and there, but the third one's coming out soon, which I'm excited for.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
remember playing like an old Sega Genesis game
Yep.
for it with my dad, and it was insanely difficult. And
Yeah.
I don't remember much more other than just being like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
all the time because I couldn't.
Was
get
it the
anywhere.
top down?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I had it for like Game Boy or something.
Yeah,
and
but
yeah,
of course
it
I'm
was-
like, "Dad, we gotta do this,"
Yep.
and it didn't go well. I didn't get very far.
Well, honestly, that's a perfect transition talking about that, part of your childhood. So we'd like to talk about, where/when you felt drawn to the fandom, kind of your earliest memories of it. Like talk us through that a little bit.
So honestly, pretty similar to Ben. As a little girl, I didn't really play with Barbies. I played with dinosaurs. So
Nice.
I had toy dinosaurs. I did have some Barbies, and the Barbies would ride on the dinosaurs. So I do
Nice.
remember
Naturally.
doing that.
Nice.
Yeah. Lots of coloring books with dinosaurs, all kinds of things. I cannot remember the first time I watched the first Jurassic Park. I know I had to have been like 2, honestly. I was born in
Nice.
1992. The movie came out in 1993, so it's something that was around my entire childhood. One of the first VHS tapes that I remember, we had a copy at my house. We had a copy at my grandparents' house, and I would play it all the time. I remember my sister babysitting, and she would like peek down the stairs and be like, "What are those weird sounds?" I said, "It's dinosaurs. Leave me alone." So definitely something that's been around for a long time. The second movie, I'm pretty sure, so The Lost World came out in 1998. That was the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm sure that my dad probably got a lot of strange looks taking a 5-year-old to a PG-13 movie, but he knew, just like Ben was talking about earlier, honestly, the movies don't have a lot of gore. You see a little bit of blood off screen sometimes. And you do see, in the second one, you do actively see someone getting bit in half.
In the first one,
Nice.
you do also see an arm.
Yeah, I was
Just
gonna
kind of
say,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I love Jurassic Park beyond all reason, but the arm is a very fake arm.
You can excuse
Nice.
that with
Not
all
in the
the other
early
good,
90s,
all
yeah.
the other good
Yeah.
stuff that practical effects they did.
No, definitely. But
Hey, to a young kid, I'm sure the arm looked plenty real enough.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But as a kid, you don't really make that connection. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, there's 2 T-Rexes on the screen now. Cool. And I was never off put by any of that.
Yeah.
The first DVD I ever owned as my own was Jurassic World 3, which I'm pretty sure came out in 2002. which I was super excited about because Dr. Alan Grant,
Oh, yeah.
who was played by Sam Neill, made a comeback. I was real mad that he wasn't in the second one because that's the dinosaur man. You know, like he's
And we, as children, I don't know about you, but I didn't have the level of appreciation for Jeff Goldblum that I have now.
I love him so much. He's an American treasure and he needs to be preserved at all costs. Definitely. But my sister and I actually, side note, like we think Jeff Goldblum is like quite the silver fox. Like he's so much more handsome now as he's aged.
He's someone else that I learn more and more about every day. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, did you guys know he was a jazz pianist?
No.
I want to say I did know that actually.
I actually saw that. Maybe you told me.
I
Maybe
probably
that's
told you
why
because I
know
was so
that.
excited about it. But like, yeah.
My sister and I were just gushing about him at dinner with our mom one time, and she's like, "Ew." So I just thought that was so funny. But I adore him. So the moment I found out that he was in Wicked, I was like, I have to see this no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying the scene of him like laying out there with his shirt open.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it is iconic.
Yeah.
There is
That is a big thing in Jurassic Park fans across the world. I think is that particular shot. And doing it in every weird way possible. There's a big thing where they have Dr. Grant laying on him on his
Yes.
naked
It,
torso.
like the Triceratops
like the
scene.
Triceratops, yeah, where he's like, oh yeah. My sister has a funny picture of that one because well, maybe you don't know, but one of Dr. Malcolm's, who is played by Jeff Goldblum, one of his big lines is "Life finds a way."
The has to be in there.
The has to be in there, absolutely. And my sister has a picture of him laying there, and there's like roses on it, and it says "Love finds a way."
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Soon enough, we're about ready to develop a thirst trap section of the show. So
Well, yeah.
This is the second episode.
So
with-
Michael thought our discussion on Aragorn last time was a little too.
I said the episode
Risque,
need to be
but-
marked explicit, and honestly, this one might be neat as well. Can anyone do a Jeff Goldblum accent just off the cuff?
Oh, no.
Can
I
anyone?
wish.
Okay.
No.
I can't, but my ringtone for when my sister texts me is Jeff Goldblum's laugh in the helicopter. If you can do a sound bit for that right there, that'd be kind of
Okay, I'll add it in post.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't get that one ready.
we didn't prep this time.
Yeah.
Should have.
I can't even do it.
So you two dig up dinosaurs?
Well,
Try it,
Oh gosh.
It's
And
ridiculous.
Ben and I were together on Friday too. We could have put together some sound bites. Jeez.
But yeah, Dr. Malcolm has a lot of random, like iconic moments through it. So,
Well, Sam, why don't you talk a little bit about what makes Jurassic Park such a special IP fandom to you over everything else?
a lot of it, I think, is the nostalgia that comes along with it. It's been present, honestly, through my whole life. You know, it came out when I was teeny tiny, and they just released another movie this summer. So it's always been something that I've been able to find comfort in, you know, kind of no matter what's going on. It's a movie I can watch at any point. You know, I can pick it up whenever and be like, ha, I know exactly what's happening here. And I think for, you know, setting the book aside, the cinematic universe is really well put together, and there's a lot of little subtle things that you might not really be able to pick up on. But even, you know, Ben and I were talking about this a little earlier. There's actually a children's series that was released by Netflix that it's a two-parter. It has Camp Cretaceous first and then Chaos Theory second. And you actually see something in the, like, I think it's the second to last season of Camp Cretaceous that then translates directly into Jurassic World Dominion, where, and it goes all the way back to the original movie. So anyone that's seen the original movie will know who Dennis Nedry is. So he is kind of the cause of the whole calamity that is the fall of Jurassic Park. And one of the big things is he has this fake Barbasol can that he steals $10 million worth of embryos from the labs in Jurassic Park, stashes them in there where they can be cooled and transported for 36 hours to the mainland. But he never gets there, and he falls victim to the Dilophosaurus, which is the one that has the big frill and screams. Personally, they're one of my favorites. Second only to the Velociraptor, which is not a real Velociraptor, which is still disappointing.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. But he drops the can, and it gets covered in mud. and you never think it's going to be seen again. Well, all these years later, Camp Cretaceous takes place within, what was it, like 6 months over when the Jurassic World movie happened.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a group of kids that get left behind and they're stuck there and they have to survive. Well, Dr. I just forgot his name for a second. Dodgson.
Okay,
He is he's featured a lot more heavily in the novel than he is in the first movie, but he's who meets with Nedry at the little restaurant with the little Mexican music playing and stuff. And Nedry's like, Dodgson, we got Dodgson over here. And he's like, don't say my name. But they don't really elaborate on that on the screenplay very much. But Dr. Dodgson shows up at the island when the kids are still there. And he ends up finding and picking up the Barbasol can. So
it still ends up back with him.
Full circle. And you actually see it. And so adults who have not watched Camp Cretaceous have no idea. You see it in his possession in Jurassic World Dominion. And if you don't see that in the children's show and see how that's all connected, how he got it, where it came from, it's just like, wait a second. How did he get that?
And we say children's show, but like it gets a little serious. There's definitely some serious moments, like where and I mean, again, they're being chased by freaking dinosaurs. Who's the main? Is it the Carnotaurus? That's like the main.
The Carnotaurus, I think they call him Toro.
Yeah,
he's a big antagonist for the kids for sure.
And pretty big dinosaur with giant horns on it. That's like coming chasing them.
Yeah,
so,
and kind of linking it into Rebirth, which just came out this summer, which talks about a whole different facility that has never been referenced before, where they're doing a lot of genetic experimentation, which starts getting featured in. I mean, that's the whole idea, honestly. But like the mutations and really taking things sideways starts at the beginning of the Jurassic World franchise. And that actually gets introduced in the Camp Cretaceous series as well, because turns out there's another, I can't remember the name of that one. Do you? The Scorpius Rex.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was.
Forgot about him.
So eventually the Scorpius Rex, it was hidden away in Jurassic World, and the kids somehow cause something that causes the system to shut down and it escapes. And it's hideous looking. It's so gross, honestly. And I think the T-Rex is so cool. So for anything else to be named Rex and look.
Oh, is it the D-Rex?
No,
that's the new one.
Yeah,
no.
It's a whole different one. So
the D-Rex is from the new movie. The Scorpius Rex is just from.
I saw a picture of that one. That one is horrifying.
He is, Michael. Let's get a live reaction of Michael.
All right, I'm looking it up now. Oh, what?
Yeah, he looks like the thing from Alien or whatever. Like
it does actually look like the.
This has left the realm of dinosaur.
No, I mean, well, okay. So that's something we get in. Like, I mean, the Jurassic Park movies are monster movies. Like, that's legitimately what they are. They're equivalent to a King Kong or a Godzilla. Like, that's what they are. It's about giant monsters that get loose. Like, and that's what it is. So, like, I mean, I understand them pushing it because, like, they're showing us the same things over and over again. It gets a little repetitive.
It does get repetitive, so they got to figure out a way to make it fresh. But you guys are definitely introducing me to a whole entire rich backstory that I actually wasn't even aware of.
Yeah.
So
go check out the Netflix show.
I need
it's
to.
It's legitimately
apparently.
pretty good.
Well, and then we were talking a lot about the movies because that's what most people are familiar with. But if you have read the novel, then you kind of have an even different, an even more different perception of some things because I mentioned earlier that Dodgson, his first name's Louis Dodgson, excuse me. He is featured prevalently in the book, and he's definitely a main antagonist, because he's the catalyst for everything, and he's very risky. So he's a genetic engineer basically, and he works for InGen's biggest rival, which is called Biosyn. So we don't hear about that in the movies at all until we hit Jurassic World Dominion. That's when Biosyn kind of comes back into the forefront of everything. And so Dodgson in the first movie, he's just a guy that comes and goes. He's
in one scene.
Yeah, he comes in one time, gives Nedry a bunch of money, kind of explains like, I'm having you do this, and then that's all we hear from him. But in the novel, he's elaborated on a lot. He actually does a lot of risky things. So geneticists deal with a lot of stuff from bioweapons to animals to all kinds of stuff that we can't even imagine. And he actually, I think it was like a kind of variant of like a rabies virus, he like releases it on a plane without
Oh.
asking anybody.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it just kind of shows, right? Yeah. But so he goes about doing something like that. So when he finds out that I don't know if he knows for sure that they're doing dinosaurs, but he knows they're doing something.
Oh, gotcha.
And then he gets a hold of Nedry, who is really mad because Jurassic Park developers, namely like John Hammond, are saying, hey, you didn't do enough. You need to do X, Y, Z. But he already put a lot of time and money and effort into the project.
Well, yeah. In classic, like, I mean, computer engineers, like, we only need one of them when they're having him develop an entire security system that is containing everything as well as like all the code for everything too. Like, yeah, like putting a lot of strain on one person.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. So you can kind of see where he would be really frustrated about everything. And so he goes down there thinking that he's going to fix things in a weekend, and that's not even close to what's possible. So when someone offers him, I think the total was like $10.5 million. Of course, you're going to take it. But so back to Dodgson, he kind of gets the Biosyn board together, and he's calling for like an emergency vote. So basically, he will have company permission to do something. And they all kind of are like, no, don't give us details. And they have to record it because of like their board rules and everything. And he's like, all I need is nods. That's all I need. You don't have to speak. You don't have to tell me that you're giving me permission for this. And so he's just a really dodgy kind of guy. And so when he comes back in Jurassic Park Dominion, and he is the type of character he is, where he's very antagonistic and conceited, and you know, I know all of these things, and I'm the best. My way is the best way. It just makes a lot more sense because you don't have any context of him.
He's gone for 5 movies. Like, yeah. If you just watch the movies,
Yeah, that's interesting that the book kind of does, or they use material from the book as a source material for those later movies. Because you think, so Jurassic World Dominion, I mean, that came out in 2022. It's 19 years after the original. It's pretty cool that they're still like referring back to that original source material. I like that.
It's funny. The story I feel like is so different in the book, but they do, you're right, every single movie it seems like they're pulling some element of it that is present in either The Lost World or Jurassic Park that are that's coming in there. So it's this weird hybrid.
There's a piece of the book in basically every movie to a certain extent.
Yeah, you were saying before we started rolling, even in Rebirth, there was a scene that you were like excited about because of how it referenced the book.
So there's a big scene. It's the only scene the T-Rex is in.
Oh yeah,
in Rebirth, and that is pulled straight out of the book. Different characters, obviously, so a little bit of a different thing. But the T-Rex is literally asleep after eating a big meal, and Dr. Grant is trying to open a raft so he can get himself and the kids onto the river and away and heading back to the visitor center to safety. But he has to figure out how to open this inflatable raft and not wake up the T-Rex. So the young girl, I can't remember her name, but she goes and gets that, and all of a sudden the T-Rex rolls over her, and she has to do that. So I literally could hear the narrative from the novel being like, hiss swap, you know, when it's explaining the sound that the raft makes when she opens it. And I'm like, this is exactly what it's from. So definitely, you know, little things like that kind of come from everything. There's a big sequence of being on the water and being on the raft, and the kids and Dr. Grant having to fight off the T-Rex and Dilophosauruses. And in Jurassic Park 3, you know, you get a lot of that time on the river, like being chased by the Spinosaurus and stuff. So there's a lot of different pieces that can come from that. One of my favorite differences, which I was really annoyed about it at first, is in the book, John Hammond is kind of like a dark Walt Disney almost. He is like in the movie, he's a very, very like bubbly, bright, happy old man.
Richard
you know,
Attenborough.
I mean, he's wonderful. I love him.
Yeah,
but
was Fate in the book was also worse, I feel.
Yes, yes. But he's a very, you know, positive thing, and you see him, he's like, oh, we're not going to charge thousands of dollars for this. Everyone, he literally says, everyone in the world deserves the chance to enjoy these animals. But in the book, he's like, no, the children of the world will enjoy this, but only the rich ones. That's actually like a line straight out of the book. So he is very like, oh, I can't stand this man. I loved him in the movies so much. but he's a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, it's absurd.
Yeah.
He didn't bring his grandkids to the island because he loved them and wanted them to experience the wonder of what he created. He brought them to try to get their lawyer to stop trying to cancel the park, basically, is what he brought
Hey,
them
it's
down for.
kid friendly. Look, they're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then the character of Donald Gennaro, who's the lawyer in the movie, he's the one that gets eaten on the toilet.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know, yeah, that's
Shoot.
that's him. But his
When you gotta go, you gotta
character,
go.
his character in you're right. But his character in the movie is a combination of two characters from the book. So Gennaro is actually a lawyer, and he is part of a law firm that actually owns like 5% of Engine. And is trying to make sure they keep Hammond on a leash because they're concerned about what he's getting into. And then there's a character called Ed Regis, who is the publicist for the park. And he does what Gennaro does. And when the T-Rex escapes, he's like, bye, and runs away, only to get eaten by a second T-Rex that is in the novel. So there's a juvenile that is loose, and it literally describes it as he's playing with him like a puppy, you know, like the clumsy gait. So, but yeah, he gets eaten by a 4-year-old T-Rex that is half the size of the adult. So, but that's kind of interesting how they take, you know, the two characters and put them together.
Yeah.
While still kind of keeping it prevalent. But sorry, that was a little bit
No,
of a
no,
you're
tangent.
good. Wait,
No, that
again,
was
like
great, yeah.
just proving why you're on as our
know,
expert. Like,
exactly.
well, so Sam. Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
So, like, one of the things we like to do is, since we're talking about how much there is in the Jurassic lore and everything, where would you start someone? Would you start someone who is coming into the franchise brand new with the book or
The original movie.
Okay.
The original movie,
Okay.
100%, because you're not only getting rich storytelling, and it does have a couple plot holes, you know, don't get me wrong. It's not perfect.
What doesn't?
Right. But the cinematography is fantastic. Like, I took one film class in college, and I don't remember a lot of the details, but I did. I was a senior, and it was a freshman level class, and I was taking it for fun, and we had to write a 700-word essay on one scene in a
That's
movie.
nothing.
I took the kitchen scene with the velociraptors, and it was like 4 pages long. And I feel like Dean Abbott probably hated me because he wanted to grade a bunch of freshman essays, and then I did that. So
Nice.
But there's a lot of iconic shots from Steven Spielberg in there. There's a lot of nuance in, you know, how the dinosaurs are placed depending on what's going on. And I'm thinking back to that scene in particular because you have a lot of time looking up at the velociraptors so that they're in a position of dominance. I can't remember what the screenshot is, but Spielberg was apparently kind of known for it at first, where the camera's like on a cart and it's, you know, moving at like foot level of something, if that makes sense. And he does that with the velociraptor's feet in the kitchen, you know,
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
focusing on like the cat nails.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of nuance as far as that goes. It's groundbreaking as far as CGI and animatronics.
Yep.
And there's just a lot of iconic moments that are
Absolutely,
in that one.
yeah.
So we
Still
talked a
holds
lot.
up. this
Yeah.
many
It
years
does
later.
still hold up, honestly. I mean,
Yeah, even the CGI still is great.
Yeah.
Even, you know,
you
being,
can definitely tell when they switch from the animatronics to CGI, but it's still
Yeah.
overall really good. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you did a great job of rolling in our next question too, which is like an elevator pitch for why someone should get into it. And I think again, like if you're a cinematographer or if you're like a film buff, it's a classic for so many reasons. Not to mention, we've brought him up many times before, John Williams.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yes.
The Jurassic Park franchise as a whole, but especially the original
Yes.
movie, has something for everybody. It kind of it gets your nerds, it gets your musicians, it gets your like just
You're a horror like monster fans.
yeah,
like,
it has a little bit of something for everybody. The music is phenomenal. Which what isn't that John Williams has brought to the
Yes.
So
table?
this is
Very
also
fair.
turning into a John Williams podcast.
I know.
I'm
I
not
really
opposed.
should, honestly.
I'm not
We need to
opposed.
do an episode on John Williams.
Right.
Well, we got to go talk about Howard Shore some more and some Lord of the Rings, but we'll get back to that.
There's a lot of great,
Yes.
you know, composers that are in cinematography and television and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, 100% the original movie I think is the best place to start.
Great. Well, I think now's a good time for us to take a quick little break. So let's hold on to our butts and we'll be right back.
Yes. Classic. Thank you, Michael, for that. Those lovely chimes. We are back, still continuing our conversation with Sam about Jurassic Park and the entire franchise, really. And we're going to jump into some fandom culture stuff. So we've kind of hit on stuff outside of the movies already. Definitely talked about Camp Cretaceous and some of that other. There's things that are outside of just the original movies and stuff like that. But are there any other pieces of content that you can think of outside of the movies that you enjoy?
Well, I think Ben mentioned it earlier. There's a handful of video games and things like that as well. The big ones recently are the Jurassic World Evolution games, which are basically like Zoo Tycoon,
but with dinosaurs that can break out of the park.
And then they eat people, and it just makes life really difficult because then your park rating goes down, and then you don't make enough money, and then you can't fix things when they get out and they're eating the people. It's a whole mess.
They are cool games. Like, it is really, like, there's a lot. They are very in depth now.
Yeah, you can like genetically modify your own dinosaurs, and there's a third one coming out in October sometime.
Which has introducing juveniles, so you can have baby dinosaurs.
Babies. Oh, that's exciting. But
was it
I know
never like you could never have because you could breed them, right?
You bred them, but they came out as
they
adults.
pop out. Yeah,
oh, really?
full-grown.
Oh, okay.
Like Adam
And you
and
do
Eve.
have like cute little like cinematic scenes when they come out and stuff, so it's kind of cool. But I wish it was a little more interactive. I don't know why I want to pet a velociraptor in a video game, but that's 100% what I want.
All right.
But I know I've enjoyed those a lot, and like the difference between 1 and 2, there was a pretty significant difference in
Customization, especially.
Yeah, and you did have a sequence like for those of you that aren't aware, after Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom, dinosaurs are loose in North America, so they're just kind of running around now.
Yeah.
And in Jurassic World Evolution 2, you actually get to go catch wild dinosaurs and then bring them back and,
I thought that was a nice touch. I don't know that I played much of the first one, but I did play a few hours of the second one.
I wish there was more campaign content. I felt like I finished it in like a day and a half and was like, oh, well, sandbox mode now, okay. Like,
well, in the second one, they had like a whole chaos theory campaign where you went and replayed parts of the movies.
Yeah.
You had to try to fix the wrongs of the movies, which is kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, speaking of like movies outside of the main continuity, what is Battle at Big Rock?
That's a fan-made movie, I think.
Really? Okay,
so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When I was doing some research on just Jurassic Park movies, I see in 2019 they released Battle at Big Rock, and I'd never heard of that. I didn't know what it was.
I've heard of it. I have not watched it. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like it's like a fan-made, we'd have to look into that.
In all honesty, I'm not super familiar with a lot of like fan-made content on that. Just more like other dinosaur content.
Dino content.
Yeah,
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
My first big like online MMO video game was Ark Survival Evolved, and I put, this might be rookie numbers for some people, but about 1,500 hours into that.
Dang.
And
I can't think of how much time I spent with that much time I've spent on anything.
Yeah, well, listen, if you're playing on like the official servers, it takes like 2 days to just hatch a Giganotosaurus egg, which is a pain in the tush. So, a lot of time just spent waiting and waiting and waiting. And I do have like a group of online friends that I play that game with, and they're like, "Are you going to come back?" And I'm like, "Guys, I'm sick of staring at eggs, waiting for them to hatch, and sitting there and having to feed babies every 10 minutes so they don't die." So yeah,
Michael, can you relate?
I can relate. I can relate, definitely.
Well, this is my personal favorite segment of the show, the hot takes segment. So what are your unpopular opinions about Jurassic Park / Jurassic World?
Oh man,
It's too open-ended.
I got one I'll start talking about. It's my beef with the latest movie. They used the sleeping dinosaur like gag 3 times where like, like everything's fine, everything's safe, and then all of a sudden like a sleeping dinosaur out of nowhere. The T-Rex being one of them. What are the giant ones in this one? The sauropods.
Titanosaurus.
And then the Spinosaurus like on the beach too, where like, oh, we're fine, everything's safe, and then just one rolls over out of nowhere, and you're just like, okay, like, cool.
Oh, that
like,
it was disguised on the beach?
Yeah.
I think I saw a clip of that. I haven't seen the movie
like
yet.
three separate times they did that. I was like, okay, like the first time, Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Second time, you're like, okay, well, we've seen this a little bit before. And the third time, you're like, okay, we're just lazy now. Like, that's my beef with the latest movie.
How many new ways are there though to do this?
I don't know, man.
There's
like,
better than that. They got to do better than that.
They had
though.
invisible dinosaurs in the second trilogy, so
That was yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
give you
that's
I'll give you
fair.
my hot take, which I don't know if it's a hot take in this crowd or not, but I've been told by other people that they could not stand. I think it was Dominion, right? Dominion was before Rebirth.
yes, Dominion was the last
Yeah,
of
that's
the
the
world.
one that,
that was-
brought
trilogy, like,
everybody together.
Yeah,
Like, that was-
2022.
and I loved it. It
Oh,
me
was so
too.
good.
Oh, yeah.
And I have talked to several people that are like, "No, it was so bad." I'm like, "Are you in?"
No. Listen, if we're gonna, so I don't know if this is a hot take, considered a hot take or not, but it is a hill I will die on. The worst movie out of the whole franchise, and I actually skip it. I own it because I have to own all of them. But
Right.
Fallen Kingdom,
Absolutely.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it. It has some like nostalgic moments,
Yeah.
you know, like little things that I really liked. And it's entertaining, you know, but it's just there's. I don't know what I would have done differently, honestly, but it just makes me so grumpy sometimes. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah.
I
So
get it.
no, nobody's allowed to criticize Dominion because it brought both trilogy main
Yeah.
groups of people together,
Yeah.
and the fact that Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum, I almost called him Ian Malcolm because that's where my brain is. But the fact that they came back was
Yeah.
absolute. It was treasure. It was amazing.
I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I really. It was such a fun movie.
And there was so much nostalgia in it.
yeah.
You know, like for them fighting the Giganotosaurus and Jeff Goldblum sitting there with a locust on fire on a spear, like being like, "Whoa."
Yep, just right back.
Some great
It's just,
scenes.
I'm sitting there like, in the theater because I'm like, it's perfect. It's perfect. And he's not going to get in trouble this time. He's going to save the day because it's Jeff Goldblum and he's fantastic. And he just throws that straight in that dinosaur's mouth and just saves the day. And it's gold. I love it so much. Plus, you know, the tension that is happening between Dr. Grant and Ellie the entire time, and they finally have their kiss.
Very satisfying.
It's so good.
So Nick, so the way you've described it, I'm gonna love this movie.
Yeah.
Sounds. What were the critiques you heard, Nick?
That's why I was so shocked. I
It's-
didn't
it's
know if
the
you've heard it
locust.
before.
It's-
Is that what
yeah,
bothers people?
it's-
Have you heard people say that it's
Yes.
bad? Okay, so
I honestly believe from what I have heard that it probably the plot is a little sideways.
Yeah.
You know, so
Gotcha.
you do have dinosaurs that are out, you know, on
look,
parts of
it's
North
fan
America.
service when you look at it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, and that's the way that these movies go, especially when you get when you're bringing the whole team together. It starts to become like about the fan
Yeah.
service and giving people what they want, even if it doesn't necessarily make 100% sense. Like,
yeah. But they had to find a way to be able to get everyone together. And so this is where they bring Biosyn in from the background and they make them the bad guys because Biosyn releases these genetically engineered locusts that are eating all of the crops that aren't Biosyn seed. And so Ellie Sattler, who is Laura Dern's character, she starts to make these connections and has to figure out a way to get onto Biosyn's facility that they're claiming is like a dino sanctuary. And she goes to Alan Grant, who is Sam Neill, for help. And he's kind of like, no, I don't want anything to do with these dinosaurs. Fine, I'll go. And they get in with the help of Ian Malcolm, who is actually employed by Biosyn as basically a professor, kind of.
Yeah, or wasn't he also just kind of like not like I don't want to say like a PR hire, but like almost like a spokesperson,
Yeah, it was
like
because he was
mascot
so-
sort of like
so known, I
Yeah.
think, right? He was using his fame kind of, and that was, I mean, to me, that's on brand for
Yeah.
Ian Malcolm,
Oh,
especially the Ian
100%.
Malcolm of the book.
Absolutely.
That's exactly
ambassador.
what it was like.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, he's kind of like a brand ambassador, sort
Yeah.
of like
But he helps them kind of get into the fray of everything. And it's really funny because
Oh,
you
I
do
loved
see.
him as like a spy.
Oh yeah, and you see Laura Dern and Sam Neill. They have like these hazmat suits, and they're running through these like hospital-like hallways for a second. I think it's gold. It's great.
Nice. Well, let's transition into our kind of group discussion segment here. And this is kind of a newer thing, but we've been starting off with this Would You Rathers, which Nick has graciously put together. So Nick, why don't you take it from here?
Let's do it. Let's do some would you rather here. Would you rather work for John Hammond creating Jurassic Park or Dr. Wu in the genetics lab?
I am not a science-minded person, so I don't think that I would be very helpful in a genetics lab. But I would say I would work for movie John Hammond. I would not want to
Not
work
book.
for book
Yeah.
John Hammond because
That's
he's
a good
jerk.
distinction.
Fair.
But Richard Attenborough, yeah, I would get down with working for him. My ideal job in Jurassic Park would be raising baby dinosaurs.
Sure.
Even raptors?
That'd probably be you'd be in the genetics lab if you're doing that, probably, right? Because
Whatever I have to do to be with baby dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's where the eggs were.
Nice.
Would you rather ride a trained raptor like Owen in Jurassic World or fly on a pterodon? I can't even say the word. Pteranodon.
The Jurassic Park velociraptors are like my favorite thing in the world, even though that actual velociraptor is not real. But
It's more of a Utah raptor.
Yeah.
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 A what now?
Or a Deinonychus. I don't.
I've heard it said
Yeah.
all kinds of different
Oh,
ways.
that they like merged like.
Yeah, like so real life
small.
velociraptors, they're like 2 feet tall.
Dog-sized,
Like yeah, they're-
like-
yeah,
Um,
but they're not scary. So
and there's a
Well, I mean,
Deinonychus,
the
which
name
is
yes,
which is very similar to what is in the Jurassic Park films. But then they discovered the Utah raptor, and that is very similar. I actually read something earlier today where the guy that discovered those called somebody and was like, "Hey, I found those velociraptors that Steven Spielberg made up for his movie." So that was kind of funny. I
Wow.
can't remember who he called, but it was like the guy that found them and was like, "Hey."
well, this is a
Those
great
are things.
segue to our next. Would you rather?
Well, yeah, I was actually gonna skip because I know what she's gonna say, but I'll ask it anyways. Would you rather have
Pet
a pet
velociraptor. I would rather have a pet velociraptor.
Triceratops or
Yeah.
velociraptor? And I knew that was
Nice.
gonna be the answer for sure.
Yeah.
How about this one? Would you rather run from a T-Rex in high heels? Speaking of iconic moments, like Claire in Jurassic World, or excuse me, goodness, I forgot where I was. Rather spend. Oh my gosh, I got it all. Or from
When
the
you cut this-
Indominus Rex. So I jumped down to the next question. Let me start over. Would you rather run from the T-Rex in high heels like Claire in Jurassic World, or from the Indominus Rex barefoot?
So I'd probably have more luck running barefoot, but if anyone's ever seen me run, I would get eaten no matter what.
I mean, that was probably
funny.
my least favorite scene from. I mean, it was iconic because it's the T-Rex, but I just remember thinking the first view through as you're watching Claire run from the T-Rex in those high heels. I'm like,
And she's been
this
in
is
the heels the whole
ridiculous.
time.
Yeah.
Which is absurd.
It was a good bit
But-
though. I did.
Yeah. I do really actually enjoy Bryce Dallas Howard. I enjoyed her acting in the movies, and I think she's gorgeous to boot. So props to her for actually running in the heels. But yeah, I would get eaten no matter what. So
That's a valid point.
These are my two favorite of the foes from Jurassic. But we got, would you rather face off against the Indoraptor from Fallen Kingdom or the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3?
it's
For-
hard because you got to think about like the context. Like,
Yeah,
do I have somewhere to hide from the Spinosaurus? Because if I do, then I would go with that. And for the Indoraptor, does somebody have the laser beam? Because
Michael, the Indoraptor was a trained military weapon that you could point a laser beam at something and it would attack it.
Wow.
yeah, it basically was
intense.
like a big gun, and
Yeah.
it had a button, and you could point the laser beam at it, and that would make it like hone in on it.
Wow.
So
That's kind of the whole plot of Fallen Kingdom is they've developed dinosaurs as weapons.
they stole
and they're trying to
I
they
gotcha,
stole a
I
bunch of
gotcha.
dinosaurs off of Isla Nublar, which is the original island, and the volcano's going to erupt, which there's a really sad moment
Oh
involving.
no, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
So as
That's
the
like the only
ship,
thing I remember from the movie.
yeah, as the ship is going away with all the dinosaurs that they've quote unquote saved, there's a Brachiosaurus that's kind of like walking towards the ship, and it's crying, and it stands up, and
He's
you just
all
hear
alone.
it. Like
I
you
was
just hear it
told
crying.
that they
And
confirmed.
there's a theory. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was confirmed or not that it's the original Brachiosaurus that
From the first
they
one.
see. That's your first dinosaur that you see in the movie.
They just wanted to make
Oh.
it hurt more. By
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
it hurts real bad. So, side note, I know we're in a question segment, but this was something I was talking to Ben about earlier, which I thought would be something fun to bring in. They struggled a lot filming the Brachiosaurus scene because there wasn't actually a dinosaur there. So trying to get their
You don't
reactions.
say.
I know, right?
Wow.
But trying to get their reactions to be genuine was difficult. So they struggled with it. But then when they put the CGI in, one of the guys that was working with Spielberg literally goes, "You crazy son of a," I can't say it. "You crazy son of a beat, you did it." And in the movie, Malcolm's literally like, "You crazy son of a," like, so they literally took that from real life and had Ian Malcolm say it because of, how it fit in with everything. So Brachiosaurus scene. Yeah. But I thought that was it was cute.
Yeah. That's funny.
Sorry.
All right, last one. Would you rather live in a world where dinosaurs are confined to islands or where they roam freely across the globe?
So my dinosaur lover would like for them to roam freely, but I know that is not a good idea for many different
I
reasons.
mean, think about even just the beginning. Not even dinosaurs eating people aside, like the beginning of Rebirth.
There's like a Brachiosaurus that's blocking traffic because he's laying down in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the opening scene is like there's a huge traffic jam because of a dinosaur that's asleep.
Or
like,
it's a
I can't remember
Apatosaurus.
which it is, yeah.
One of the long-necked ones, and he's just laying down in the middle of the city, and traffic is blocked everywhere because they can't get around him. So I understand that there are many, many reasons why that would be impractical to have them. Not to mention the fact that some of them eat us.
Yeah.
So I think I would have to say that they should live on the islands, which makes
And then
me
you can still
sad.
go visit them.
Yeah.
But
Which also probably isn't a good idea. It's not like there's several movies showing us why that's a bad idea, but
All right.
what are we even talking about here, Sam?
Well, I'll kick off our official Q&A here with this question right here. If you could cast the next Jurassic Park movie, who would you put in it?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
well, kind of thinking how it seems like they're thinking about things in threes.
Mhm.
We have the original trilogy, we have the world trilogy, and now we have kind of a standalone thing that they're doing their own thing. I actually really liked Scarlett Johansson in Rebirth. So I think having her come back.
And Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah, Jonathan Bailey as well.
So you wouldn't change?
No,
No,
like,
those two.
I think for the direction that things are going, I think that's definitely a good way to go. And I'll be real honest, I don't watch a ton of movies. I should, but I don't watch a lot of them. So I don't think I have any super strong feelings about it.
You know what I want? I want a Jurassic Park with Danny DeVito.
Wow.
Wait,
Honestly,
so would we do
dude.
it? Will we do it as Danny DeVito, or would we do it as Frank Reynolds? Because there's also
Yeah.
that thing on the internet
Funny.
of just putting Frank Reynolds in
And-
everything.
Yeah.
Which Danny DeVito is another American treasure who needs to be preserved. But
We need to have him and Jeff Goldblum do a glasses off. They both like wear the same glasses. And,
that'd be so good.
They'll hear this podcast. and,
yeah.
Well, I'm going to jump in with a question here. So earlier you mentioned you had some online friends that you kind of talk with about Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. What is the local Jurassic Park scene like in Columbus? And have you made any new friends or connections like through this fandom?
So not like directly through Jurassic Park, but my online friends are from ARK, which is another dinosaur thing. So it is something that kind of comes up from time to time while we're on there, and just your general dinosaur and prehistoric creature, love. Because ARK also has like saber-toothed tigers and different things like that.
Mammoths?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
I thought that
mammoths.
was a mammoth. Yeah.
There's I think it's Procoptodons, which are the giant kangaroos and
Oh.
things like that. So, kind of a sidestep from Jurassic Park. But probably kind of in my everyday life where I make connections about it is I do have a tattoo of the T-Rex on my left calf. And my brother-in-law did it for me. It's the Jurassic, a silhouette of the Jurassic Park gates in the back with a sunset, and the T-Rex, and she's wrapped in a banner that says "When dinosaurs ruled the earth." And I do get a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
that does kind of bring about at least some camaraderie, not necessarily like friends, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely some conversation. And
That's a huge conversation starter for
Yeah, that's
sure. I
cool.
mean, yeah, tattoo.
yeah,
I didn't know that you had that. How long have you had that for?
2 years.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
think,
that's kind of
actually.
recent. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, my question, I'm curious to know. Hypothetically, how much would you spend to go see a real life dinosaur park?
Whatever I had in my bank account at
Really?
the time. Yeah, like
Really?
I mean, in a realistic way, no, I obviously can't do that. But whatever I could realistically afford, or save for, or beg someone to gift, like I don't know. Yeah, like whatever
Wow.
would be
That dedicated. That's
literally
impressive.
possible. Because if I got to see real dinosaurs, I would. I think Ben and I have shared it before. There's a thing that's like my toxic trait is if Jurassic Park was still open, I would go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh
me.
man! Speaking of fan creators, I wish I could. I've probably sent them to you at some point, so maybe I'll dig it up. But there's a couple of videos of like other workers on the park when everything's going wrong. Like, yeah, they're pretty funny. I'll have to find those.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
We'll go to circle. I figure, right? I'll
Yeah,
I'll
that
come
works,
around.
that works.
What's your favorite death in the franchise? Mine is for sure Toilet Man.
He's probably the most iconic. Probably my favorite, and I forget her name right now. Is the assistant in Jurassic World, because she gets lifted up by
Into the Mosasaurus pit, or
it's
tank.
the why do I forget the name? Starts with a D.
I don't know.
It's the flying
The
dinosaur
flying
with
ones,
the T-Rex heads.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name.
Dimetrodon. No. Now I forget what it's called. It looks like Michael's looking it up for me because
Yeah, the Dimorphodon.
I was close.
You were close.
So Dimorphodons is how I would always say that.
Dimorphodon.
But they break loose because the Indominus Rex goes and busts up the aviary, and there's a helicopter crash and all kinds of crazy stuff. And so all the flying dinosaurs get loose, and so the Dimorphodons start attacking everybody that's huddled in on Main Street. Because of course everyone gathered in one place, which is always a great idea.
Right.
And so the flying dinosaurs come over, pick up Claire's assistant, and drop her. Well, they are kind of messing with her in the Mosasaurus pit, and then the Mosasaurus comes up and chomps her, and I think it's a Pteranodon that has her at that point.
Yeah.
So I heard a story that supposedly the actress that basically demanded that they make her death extremely gruesome.
Really?
Amazing.
Why is
Yeah,
that?
that was-
Cool, because if you're going to be an actor and you're going to get killed on something, you want it to be iconic.
Yeah.
Make it memorable. There we go.
Yeah.
Rememberable.
I read that story or saw that story somewhere. I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear that was
I
the
actually
case.
feel like I heard something about that too.
I would believe that 100%.
That's funny. All right, a couple more questions here. If you could have a Jurassic Park themed dinner party, what would the menu be?
So Ben and I actually did this one time. Our friend Danae, hi Danae, if you're listening, she had never seen the original Jurassic Park, so we decided that we needed to have her over with us and watch it and have dinosaur themed foods. So we had, what was it, Dino Nuggets? Ben made a volcano of French fries with ketchup as the lava.
I think there's some broccoli trees.
Yeah, and we
Nice.
had
Dino egg.
I made like kind of dinosaur deviled eggs. I dyed the yolks green. I don't know why I thought that was the way to go, but that's what I
Yeah.
did. And then we made mud pudding
Oh yeah.
that had little toy dinosaurs in the top.
Dang, that's what you guys you're getting one of those for that. That's pretty amazing.
So
Wow.
yeah, we actually did that. The only thing I would add, and I don't know if we had it and I just forgot, is like the dinosaur mac and cheese, if you can find it. But I don't think you can find that all the time.
Yeah.
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 Well, why don't we go with one more question? Ben,
so I got to make it a good one.
you-
Okay. Okay. Obviously, you really enjoy all the movies and stuff like that. If you could change one thing about any of the movies to make it more closer to the book, more enjoyable, fix a plot hole, what would that be?
Oh man. Okay. If I had to pick one thing, and tell me if I'm wrong about this, but in the original movie, the Triceratops is sick,
Mhm.
right? We never find out why the
We do not.
Triceratops
Yeah.
is sick.
Yeah.
It's in the book. It's in the book, and you know what happened. It's a stegosaurus in the book, but you find out what happened, and it's such an easy thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in a deleted scene or what happened, but you never know.
That is a good point, because then we just get swept up and oh shoot, the island is falling apart literally. So
I know
like,
there's
yeah.
a lot of things, but I remember even as a child, I was like, "Well, what's wrong with the Triceratops? What's going on? Why do I not know what this is?" So the first time I read the book and it's talking about a stegosaurus being sick, I was like, "I wonder if this is the same thing." And then all of a sudden, it was. It's yeah, but we know
I don't
why.
remember
Okay.
what is wrong with it.
So
in
the
book.
Triceratops is just it's like lethargic, and I can't remember what all Dr. Harding says is wrong with it, but he has her knocked out, tranquilized,
Okay.
sedated.
I had no idea where
That's
you're
what
going with
it
that. So yeah.
no, the word was sedated. I'm just having one of those days, I guess. So that's why everyone's able to come up and interact with it and not have to worry about anything. But they can't figure out what's going on. It's like it's getting poisoned basically. But the plants are healthy. They do have some poisonous plants around, but the plants are healthy. They can't figure out what's going on. And it turns out in the book, I know like turkeys and chickens and like different kinds of birds and like crocodiles eat what you call gizzard stones.
Oh yeah.
And
help
so
digest.
yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a muscular pouch down in the digestive tract where they eat stones, and the stones help grind like hard to process matter, so plant matter or meat, like whole chunks of meat, or
We're getting real scientific on this
Yeah,
podcast.
Yeah, no,
now,
this
too.
is pretty interesting stuff.
But then after they're worn down and they're smooth, they'll regurgitate them and replace them. Well, when they're eating the gizzard stones, they're eating the berries that are falling off this poisonous plant, which is why the plant is showing that it's healthy. But but instead they decided to have Ellie dig through giant piles of dinosaur poop and
Poop cells now.
but instead of actually telling us what was wrong with Triceratops. So that was something that even bothered me as a child. So when I read the book, I was thrilled to find out what was actually wrong.
Yeah.
From
great.
a movie plot standpoint, I guess it was mostly used as a way to get Ellie away from the party to help
Yeah,
split
it does. It is what
everyone and,
separates
like, yeah,
them in the book too, so that she's not involved in the T-Rex attack and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
like that. So yeah, definitely important. It has to come in somehow.
Yeah,
Otherwise, why is she not with everybody anymore?
Yeah, it's
But-
a plot device.
Yeah, but it's such a simple thing that they could
Yeah,
have
yeah,
given
yeah.
us an answer for. So come on, Mr. Spielberg, you're the
because
best.
that's all.
Why'd you do
That's what
this?
we wanted to see is them explain gizzard stones
I mean,
on
they-
screen. Like, I mean,
Some good exposition around gizzard
I
stones.
mean, you're not wrong, but we do go through like a whole sequence of trying to understand what chaos theory is. And even though I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, I still can't fully follow what chaos theory
yeah.
means. So thank you, Jeff Goldblum. But yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
there was the whole DNA sequence about the dinosaurs. You
Dino DNA.
Dino DNA.
Hello, John. Hello, John. Hello, John.
Oh gosh, we're just gonna sit here quoting the movie for a while. So Sam, thank you.
Actually,
Oh, okay.
I did want to get a freebie in here. What is your favorite line from the movies?
Hold on to your butts.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is a classic. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you, Sam, so much for coming out
Yes,
and hanging out
thank
with us.
you,
We
thank
definitely
you.
appreciate that. Before we get into kind of closing things out, is there any like the next big thing happening in the Jurassic verse that's worth talking about? I think we've talked about a couple things, but
I know they're already working on a sequel for Rebirth.
Oh, nice. I did not know that.
I think Scarlett Johansson is cast already, but that's all that I've seen so far.
Nice.
But I would assume, in the next 2 or 3 years, we'll probably see something, and hopefully Jonathan Bailey is there as well, because they kind of seemed like a thing, towards the end of that.
You knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean.
and plus, like the Distortus Rex is still alive
Yeah.
and there, and who knows what else is hanging out on there. So definitely a lot to explore and learn, and yeah, lots of fun.
Very cool. Awesome.
well, Michael, since you haven't been here for a while, let's you want to tell us what we're up to next in the podcast? What's our next episode going to be about?
Yeah, so next episode, we have our college buddy, Lindsay, coming on. We're super excited for that. We're going to be talking about Gilmore Girls. So,
Yeah. I'm excited. This is the one that like none of us know like,
Yeah,
anything
literally,
about.
yeah, we
which,
know nothing.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
saying...
Nick?
I know some.
Oh wow, Nick. Okay, no.
I've seen a lot of episodes.
Okay.
but-
Yeah, no,
Glad
we're
to hear that.
we have Lindsay has sent us a list of episodes, like homework episodes that we
Yeah.
need to watch beforehand. So I'm excited for that. I was saying before we hit record on this podcast that I love early 2000s like dramedies, like
Yeah.
you know, we were talking Smallville, One Tree Hill, then Gilmore Girls, obviously.
He's
and
gonna binge the entire series. before he
honestly,
goes
I
to record
might
next.
end up doing that.
That's a lot to do in 2 weeks, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, it's young Melissa McCarthy. That's a favorite of mine. She was fun. But yeah, no, that's what we got going on, and I'm excited for that as well. But yeah, we appreciate you guys joining us for Jurassic World, and we'll go ahead and call it good. See you guys next time.
That's a wrap on this episode of Fandom of Fandoms. If you loved it, hit that follow button at FoF.pod on Instagram and Threads, and leave us a quick review wherever you're listening to this podcast. It's like fuel for our little nerdy spaceship. Got a fandom you want us to tackle? Shoot us a DM. Until next time, stay curious, stay passionate, and keep repping what you love.